Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we will be heading back into sport mode for just one video that is going to come out of the most recent exhibition series, the Nations Cup, the Manufacturers Cup. We've been and done it all again, but it all kind of went very wrong. Most of the races I did weren't particularly exciting. I didn't do all the rounds. But yeah, there was one race of note, and that's what we'll be going through today. So let's get into it. The race in question was the third round of the Manufacturers Cup, which took place at Mount Panorama, Bathurst to most of us. So yeah, it is going to be a very exciting one. And for the Manufacturers Cup, I signed up with Volkswagen, which means we get to use this very cool Volkswagen Beetle Group 3 car for this round. So that is absolutely awesome. It's a very fun car to drive, a little bit sketchy at times, but it's very cool. And I decided to create a custom livery as always, but I decided to make it a little reference. And of course, when you think of what a Volkswagen Beetle livery could be a reference to, of course you'll be thinking of Herbie. Even the default livery that you're seeing at the moment has the number 53. But instead I decided to go for something a little bit more Australian. So in reference to the legendary Australian band, I think it is fair to say, I will be creating a livery very much inspired by none other than the Wiggles. Goodness me, why am I doing this? So here it is, the big red car itself. The Wobbles, as I've labelled it here, because there was no Wiggles logos in Gran Turismo, funnily enough. But here is the car, the famous big red car driven by the Wiggles. Basically as close as I could get to it in Gran Turismo. Aside from the logos themselves, the only thing I really couldn't do the way I wanted to were the rims. The actual big red car has these very sort of dome-like rims, which are split into sort of 4 quadrants with the 4 different colours of the Wiggles. Originally, of course, yellow for Greg, red for Murray, blue for Anthony, and purple for Jeff. So I just went with purple for this one because it's the colour least seen on the rest of the car. And on the windshield banner, I just wrote Toot Toot in reference to probably the most famous Wiggle song, Toot Toot Chugga Chugga Big Red Car. It's kind of fun to just do something a bit silly with the livery, so that's why we are doing this. It's a bit of an indication of how seriously I am taking this race. Not at all, but we'll see how it goes. I did hardly any practice. I did a few laps, probably 15 minutes or so before the race itself actually started. So yeah, really no preparation for this. I've hardly driven this car at all up to this point. None of the previous rounds used Group 3 cars, so I didn't even have any experience from those. So it's going to be interesting. So without further ado, let's get into it and see how the race unfolds. The only problem actually with this livery, just quickly, unfortunately the number covers the logo slightly on both sides and on the bonnet as well. So yeah, we're just the Obbles now, or the Wobble, if we look at this side. So that's a little unfortunate, a bit of an oversight, and we can't move those numbers around. So that's just how it is. I'm not going to go back and change it now because that's the whole thing. So yeah, that is the livery. It still serves its purpose and looks cool enough. So yeah, let's see how quick the big red car really is, and if it can do a lap around Bathurst. So yeah, let's get into it. So last time here at Bathurst, in sport mode, it was actually very good. It was the first sport mode round I did, perhaps, and I managed to sneak on the podium. So far, the only podium I've managed to score in sport mode. So, to some extent, there are elevated expectations, but with very little preparation, there's not really any anticipation of a good result. But this is, of course, the circuit I know best in Gran Turismo 7, so we'll see how it goes. Believe it or not, it actually took me 3 attempts to get out of pit lane without getting a penalty, and then into the chase on the outlap. Went for a little spin there, but yeah, to go back to the pit lane thing, I kept cutting the pit exit line and getting a 3-second time penalty for it. You serve that well before you start the flying lap, but I wanted to make sure I could get out of pit lane properly and actually practice that a little bit. So that's why we are so far behind the others as we start our flying lap, but it should give us some good clear air to work in. Nonetheless, might just mean we might not get around for another lap that others may be able to do. So anyway, we begin our flying lap, and what I really just want to do more than anything is just survive the lap and yeah, make sure we get a clean lap in. It should get us ahead of anyone who has a tendency to crash a lot, hopefully. That is the target. So we'll see how it goes as we get around Griffin's Bend nicely, and we are already catching up to someone. So yeah, there's clearly some slower people up the road, and or a couple of cars here actually. So some people have had some dodgy runs up the first part of the mountain as we head up over through Selman Park and up towards McPhillamy for the first time. This very awkward left-hander when you haven't done any practice, at least. This whole top section does take a little bit of getting used to, but now as we head down through the S's, it's all about just getting as close to the inside walls as possible and maximizing whatever track width you can use. But I'm starting to get a little bit held up and distracted by the car in front. We go for a little look down the inside. Nothing we can really do there though, and that probably just held me up a little bit more. So yeah, definitely not an optimal lap. I haven't been pushing the absolute limits. Like I said, I just want to get a lap in, and I know we've caught up to this guy, so if we do complete the lap right behind, then I know we've gained time and we'll set a better lap time. So that's really what we are trying to do, just finish the lap clean. Only a couple of corners to go now. A bit skatey there though, goodness me. That corner is going to be one to watch out for later on in the race itself. But into, oh, they're off the road. Well, they were very close to it, they were deep, but they managed to keep it on. But through Murray's corner, out the other side, we got a good run and a nice completion to the lap as they vault back towards us. But yeah, that has put us at P6 at the moment, and that is far higher than I expected, given we haven't done much practice. So unusual. I really expected to be down, P10 at best. But yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. We drop down to P7 as Jack Tarr improves in the BRZ, but still P7. I will be very happy with that, and doesn't look like anyone else is going to improve. So yeah, we've got that locked in, and it's going to be a very lofty starting position compared to what I've been dealing with in previous rounds where I've qualified P15 or something like that most of the time. It's not been good. So yeah, this is good. I'm excited now because P7 with hardly any practice, I'm only going to get better. Points are absolutely rubbish, by the way. We are getting hardly anything, even if we win this race. But I don't really care too much about those, but just an interesting side note. But yeah, I'm going to improve throughout the race, just as I get used to the car. Like I said, hardly driven it up to this point. So, a top 5 might be on, which I'll be very, very happy with if we can come away with that. So, yeah, without further ado, we are just about ready to get racing. Looks like we've got a pretty mixed up field here. We've got 8 different brands represented in the top 10, which is really cool to see. There we have it then. World Series Manufacturers Cup Final 2023/24 Exhibition Series Season 3 Round 3. That's what we are doing today. Mount Panorama Motor Racing Circuit, better known to most of us simply as Bathurst. The Ford there flashing the headlights already, ready to go racing here at Mount Panorama. On pole position, it is the Porsche driven by Shake and Bake. Starting P2, the Mustang of Danny Brasco. In third position, we have Cole Muzz in the Mercedes, followed by Sesh Gremlin in the Lamborghini. Then it is fifth place for Colster in another Porsche, P6 for Jack Tar in the Subaru. Then we have myself in the Volkswagen Beetle, big red car itself. Then there's Pine Tree in the Mazda. Starting out of P9, it is the Dodge Viper driven by Poston, and out of P10, the Goodsmile Racing liveried Mercedes of Thai. Then in P11, we have 7 Stars Carp in the GTR, and starting out of P12, a Japanese name that apparently translates to Gluttonous Ball. Starting out of P13, we have OG Noodle in the BMW, followed by the Lego livery GTR of Honey OG. Then it's another pair of BMWs on the back row, Nightmare ahead of Moosefeld. So that is how we all line up on the grid, ready to start the race here. 16 cars and drivers, a full grid here at Mount Panorama. We get the number 8, funnily enough, which is about as close as we can get to 80. Well, not in terms of numeric value, the numbers go up to 16, but you know what I mean. We're just missing the 0, but it's close enough. So maybe that will be our lucky charm in this race. We'll see how it goes as we come around Murray's Corner and the countdown begins. We go racing here, starting at a very slight angle to the main straight, but not too bad. I imagine the car behind is going to have a much more difficult time as we have a look down the inside into turn 1. Not really going to go for the move, as that's a bit wide there for Colster, and immediately the fight is on. Side by side up Mountain Straight, the Subaru BRZ just not quite with straight line speed to keep that fight going, and we'll slot in behind, but we'll see if maybe we can do something here, because we've got a decent run down the inside. I'm not going to make that move as there's a bit of contact there. A little bit too late on the brakes, it was the BRZ, and ran into the back of the Porsche. But anyway, Jack Tar was able to get through regardless of how, and the Porsche drops in behind. Here's the onboard with Ty further back, runs into the back of Poston in the Viper, and then Pine Tree out into the wall gives the opportunity to Ty to get through side by side. Bit of contact, but Pine Tree holds on in the Mazda. That thing absolutely screaming over the top of the mountain. Tyres look to the inside. There's no future in that one, mate, and slots in behind. So these two fighting away hard over the top of the mountain, and Ty with a great run over the top of the hill, looking to the inside, down the inside, into the top of Skyline, down through the S's, way out of control there, but manages to get the move done regardless, and that was aggressive, but got the move done, and yeah, this is on board further back, or further up the road rather, with Cole Muzz, and running into the back, just about in the back seat of the Lamborghini, slams into the wall there. So a few people not quite getting the S's right, drops in behind Colster, and then bang, rear ends Colster into Forest Elbow rather, slams him into the wall on the way out as well. So yeah, that was a little bit of aggressive driving there, and it's ended with Colster hard into the wall at Forest Elbow. So that's unfortunate for the Porsche there. Here's the onboard, massive whack from behind, then got it back under control and just got finished off again anyway. So big frustration there, and just drove into the wall again. Thankfully, there are no wall collision penalties this time around. Last time we raced here at Bathurst in sport mode, there were massive wall penalties, which were horrible to deal with. But anyway, scrapping away here down Conrod Straits for Ty and Pine Tree. They're still going at it, and Ty manages to hold on, but those two are not letting up at this stage. Meanwhile, Colmers and Jack Tar scrapping it out through Murray's Corner. Colmers gets the move done as we have the run now on Jack Tar. Not close enough to make the move down the inside into turn 1. So we'll see if we can get the run up Mountain Straight. Meanwhile, further up the road, we just missed this. Shake and Bake race leader slightly off, and that could give the opportunity because the next 2 cars are very close behind. Defensive into turn 1 as the Ford Mustang goes to the outside, and no move to be made there. But this is going to be potentially a real opportunity though. Big run up Mountain Straight as the Mustang goes to the outside this time, and it's going to be side by side up Mountain Straight. Brasco versus Shake and Bake, and the Ford gets through and takes the lead here at Bathurst, flashing the headlights all the way. Big hit though from behind, and that's left the Ford high and wide. The Porsche gets back through, and Shake and Bake retakes the lead, flashing the headlights again there for the Ford. So clearly not happy with that, and the Porsche will maintain the lead for the time being. Meanwhile, we've got the run up the mountain to get down the inside of Jack Tar, so we'll see if we can get this one done. We're a little bit maybe earlier on the brakes than what I should have been, and we got caught up on the inside curb and just couldn't get any power down. That's left us vulnerable now to the next car in the queue, which is Ty, who's been coming through and gaining a couple of spots from the start. So we're up into P6, Ty up into P7. Here's the replay. We didn't really see it on board with myself, but Ty was absolutely full send into the cutting there, but wasn't able to make any kind of overtake. But we've got some pace, I think, over these next couple of cars, at least over the Subaru BRZ. So hopefully we should be able to close down that margin once again, because I think we have the pace to contend for a top 5 here. And car in the wall there. That I think was the Lamborghini of Sesh Gremlin, who's found the barrier there. So not sure how that happened, but that's a weird place to crash. But we'll see on the replay as the Lambo comes down the hill. What's happened here? No other cars immediately around, spun on their own, and awkwardly into the end of that barrier section there that juts out. That's a hard hit, and has cost them a little bit of time. It's moved us up into the top 5. So as we continue on then, we'll see if we can push for a little bit more. We're on the back of the Subaru BRZ once again, and just with pretty good pace at the moment, and I really do think we can make the move on this car eventually. We just need to line up another opportunity so that we come through McPhillamy, a bit wide there, and that's cost us a little bit of time. So there's not much in it. We have to really minimize mistakes if we want to make this work, but I think we can do it. We just need to really focus on being as fast and consistent as possible. But you can see I went a bit deep there into the right hand of the 4 Forest Elbow, ruined our run through there, and now we will be looking in the mirrors to see where Ty is coming. So it's a little bit of back and forth at the moment for myself, but anyway, into a bit skatey on the brakes there as we just got slightly on the grass into the chase, but we get away with it, and now Tyre's right on us, and we're a long way from Jack Tar in front. So we do need to make sure we try and minimize those mistakes, because things can change very, very quickly. But anyway, we'll see how things go on as we do get away from Ty a little bit there, who's off wide out of Hell Corner, and gets a little bit of grass on the tyres there, and Pine Tree closing back in again. So those two might be at it once more. But anyway, as we continue on, looking further up the field, top 3 still pretty close together as Jack Tar's a bit deep into the chase, and that's a full spin for the Subaru BRZ. Big mistake there. We're going to get through and take that position, as will Ty, and finally they'll get moving again as Pine Tree also goes through, and they drop all the way down into P7 where we started in this race. So even with the big mistakes, still not that far back. We were actually very deep there as we see our onboard of that little incident. Thankfully they were ghosted, otherwise that would have been contact. But yeah, we get through, and that moves us up yet another position into I think P4 now. So yeah, we are going very well in this one, as off the road at the final corner slightly there goes Colmers, but no issue there. Back up to the top of the mountain where Ty has a bit of a moment, and it sort of it became a race of mistakes between us. Ty would catch up and then make a little mistake like that, or go for a move that just didn't quite work, and then drop away again. Meanwhile, Donny Brasco over the top of the mountain, off the road, and into the barrier with a big spin there for Donny Brasco in the Mustang, still flashing the headlights. And yeah, I don't know. Oops, that's a little bit of a distraction for us though, and we go straight on through the top of Skyline, down through the S's, take the shortcut road there, and that will get us a half-second penalty. I did try my best to slow down, but the last thing I want to do is, slow down too much and end up just costing myself time. So half a second penalty, that's not too bad. It won't affect us too much. And thankfully, Ty isn't right on us at the moment after a little mistake. So we're far enough ahead that we're not going to have to worry too much about that Mercedes. But yeah, big mistake from Donny Brasco. Just clipped the inside wall at McPhillamy and sent the car wide. Very easy to do. This is why we were not under pressure. Once again, just getting the run down through the S is a bit wrong for Ty there. And yeah, just losing some time there. Meanwhile, Colmer's little tiny shortcut through the chase. Probably not going to gain much time out of that one. But it does once again raise the point that these little mistakes, the more they build up, the more costly they will become. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in the end. But that's what I'm really trying my best to minimize, is those sorts of mistakes. The worst thing we've done so far is that penalty when we got a little bit distracted by Donny Brasco spinning. But as we get a bit of a tag there from behind, so Ty becoming a little impatient behind us through turn 1. It's not my strongest corner on the circuit, despite just being a simple 90-degree corner. There's a lot more to it than some of the others as we head up the hill and run side by side. It's about as close as we've come to losing this position, and now it's a fight for the podium as we manage to hold them off and maintain third position for the time being. But we are really under pressure as we head up the mountain on this lap. But here it is on replay, as yeah, there was just a bit of overlap there at the apex, and then epic side-by-side battle up the hill. No lack of grunt in either of these cars to duke it out all the way up Mountain Straight. And yeah, it was a great little battle. I actually think we may just be marginally better in a straight line. It's really not by much, and as Ty tried to get the switch back, just turned it in a little bit too tightly on the inside and got on the grass. So that's going to relieve the pressure ever so slightly as we're a bit wide on the exit of the cutting there. But we managed to escape that one, and the fight is back on. So yeah, Ty is desperate to get onto the podium. We're desperate to hold on to it. So there's plenty of tension building up here as we head into the chase once more. Again, a whack from the inside there from Ty as we were turning down to the apex. We're out of fuel, so we're going to box this lap. But once again, we'll check this out on replay and let's just see what this looked like. Ty was a fair way back, very much committed on the brakes though, and the exact moment of contact as they had to save a big slide there was a bit obscured by the ground there, unfortunately. But anyway, we come into pit lane for our first, final and only stop in this race. We'll get a new set of hard tyres and fill it up with fuel.
Pit stop, guys, let's go!
Pit stop, guys, let's go! What do we do at the pit stop?
We change tyres and put fuel in.
Change tyres and put fuel in. Thanks, James.
Oh, hey, James, I've got a tyre.
I got a tyre too. James, I've got some fuel.
We'll whack the tyres on, guys, and get the fuel in.
James, I'm not sure if this helps, but I have a mirror so I can look at myself in it.
We're getting nowhere. We're gonna lose this race.
Oh, I love that clip so much. It was a great little piece that James Courtney and the Blanchard Racing team put together with the Wiggles, of course. The new Wiggles, of course, not the original ones that are referenced at the beginning of the video, but regardless, we get out of pit lane and go racing once again. We dropped into 7th position, but I imagine most of the cars in front of us need to stop again. I'm pretty sure we are effectively 3rd in this race unless we've been undercut by anyone. We'll find out as everyone else makes their stops. Hard to say at this point, of course, but coming through Griffin's Bend, and there's a car there going very slowly. That is Colmaz, who has obviously had some kind of incident, so not sure how that's unfolded. We'll go back and take a look, see what's happened there as we have a bit of a moment through the cutting and Reed Park. But this is Colmaz on the way into pit lane. A late decision, got a little bit up on the grass and just sent them straight on, and were not able to stop in time, and then cut the pit exit line as well. That is 6 seconds worth of penalties for Colmaz, and then through Griffin's Bend, slams into the outside wall. Oh, hello. And yeah, that's cost them a lot of time as well, which is what allowed us to catch up and make that move. So we're up effectively, I believe, into 2nd position now. So yeah, we are really getting close to that elusive win. We just need one more driver to make a mistake, really. That's probably not going to happen. Shake and Bake's been very consistent throughout this one. That's Ty, had a bit of an off on the way into the chase, and again into pit lane. So that's both the Mercedes cars coming a cropper at that part of the circuit. So yeah, maybe they have a little bit of trouble slowing down to you know, those very low speeds required for those tricky pit entry corners here at Mount Panorama. I'm not sure, but they've both had issues at that zone of the circuit. Yeah, regardless, we're up into 2nd position now, and yeah, this is genuine. We're going to the end. We've got all the fuel we need, and yeah, we can just zoom along. And confirmation there, Ty, with a time penalty for that little pit lane moment. So yeah, we don't really have much pressure from behind. We're not really within range to do anything about the race leader unless we unlock some mega pace in the last couple of laps. But yeah, I think 2nd place is realistically the most we can achieve in this one as things stand at the moment. So it looks like Shake and Bake has things under control in the Porsche. They've driven well throughout this whole race. Really, there was only that one little mishap at the end of the first lap that gave the opportunity to the Mustang up Mountain Straight, but that was you know, a long time ago. They've been very consistent ever since then. Speaking of the Mustang, they're still having a decent run in the podium places, so you know, there's still plenty to play out further down the field as well. Ty will be looking to come back and you know, potentially move up onto the podium places after those few mistakes earlier on. But did you also notice the Ford is still flashing the headlights? I don't know if they've like double bound it with something, or I don't even think that's possible, or I don't know, just have some way of flicking it automatically. Surely they are not just repeatedly smashing the flash headlights button for the entire race. That's just going to be more of a distraction than anything else. But anyway, I don't know. But they've been flashing the headlights the entire race, even with no cars in front. So I don't know, but it's weird. Regardless, as we continue to make our way towards the end of this race, not much changing really between myself and the race leader. The gap drifts around slightly, but overall I'd say our pace is just about even. Again, if I made absolutely zero mistakes, I would probably be able to close the gap a couple of tenths a lap, but you know, they could say the same thing. They could probably be extending it a bit each lap with no mistakes. So, you know, the race is just kind of going to go on like this, and it's going to be a matter of minimizing mistakes to the end. But you know, they've got the margin at the moment, so yeah, I don't know. I think second is the maximum we can achieve, but we'll see. We'll push hard, and we'll see how it goes. But either way, second place is easily going to be the best finish I've ever had in a sport mode race. As we watch Shake and Bake head into the chase, and a little bit of a wag of the tail, but keeping it nice and controlled through there. And yeah, they're just too consistent for us to catch up to. They go off wide through the final corner. They managed to keep it on, but that was heading for the grass. Good catch, but it's cost a little bit of time, and we'll see exactly how much as we head into that section ourselves, and we'll gain all of that time, and that's dropped the margin to under 3 seconds now. So maybe there is an opportunity for us. If there's another mistake like that, that could get us within range. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but it's reignited the spirits a little bit after that moment. Maybe, just maybe, this will be possible, but it's far from over, and we still have a lot of time to make up. We're still a fair way back, but actually I reckon we've caught up a little bit just through turns 1 and 2 there. As we start to climb the mountain, we've definitely closed that gap, and now it's starting to look like we might just be able to get there. We're going to need to be absolutely flawless for the rest of the race, but this can be done, and I am sure of it now. We have them in sight. We're within range to do something by the end of the race now, and we just need to keep the pressure on. There's been a lot of mistakes in this race, and they could decide the result if any more are to come for either of us. So we both need to be on our A game here as we work our way down through the S's. Love this section of the track. You get almost a sort of tunnel vision as you work your way down there. We keep it to the right as the leader drifts a little bit wide into the wall, and that's going to give us the race lead. And in a flash, things have turned around for us, and we are now in the race lead. And they've lost a lot of time with that collision there. The car coming to a complete stop, and we're able to sail on by and get a healthy margin. So unless we make any mistakes, that is now a done deal. They don't even lose second place. Such is the pace and consistency we've both had late in this one. So that is I don't even know what the word is. That is a gift, and we are going to take it with both hands. At this point, I just about had a heart attack. My heart was just about wanted to jump out of my chest. I could not believe what had just happened after having so many really tough races in sport mode, finishing outside of the top 10 almost every time. This is a huge opportunity, and we really can't do too much wrong at this point so long as we keep the car pointing in the right direction. And into the final corner comes Shake and Bake off the road again, and that's a fairly significant one as well. So the number 1 car making a lot of mistakes here towards the end. So that could just about do it. We can even afford a couple of mistakes now, and yeah, that might be it for the race. We'll keep following on with the action. Ty has dropped a long way back now, just heading into the chase. So yeah, it's been a difficult end to the race for a lot of the very fast competitors here, as we continue to take a look further back down the field, just to get an idea of the field spread. The Lego GTR just heading into the chase, and the other GTR, goodness me, still up at Forest Elbow. They've not had a great time today, as we are heading over the top of the mountain. So I don't know, are we in danger of putting them a lap down? It's not likely, but if they do have any major moments, it's not unthinkable that we might catch up to them, so we'll keep an eye out. But yeah, this is the end game now. Only a couple of laps to go, and I didn't actually note this at the time. We actually just managed to steal away the fastest lap of the race as well. That lap where we passed Shake and Bake for the lead was the fastest lap of the race. I cannot believe it, even with that, because when that happened, I did try to pull to the left and not crash into them. Thankfully they went ghost mode, so there was no contact anyway. But I thought that would ruin the run onto Conrod Straight, but it was still the fastest lap of the race regardless. So yeah, that will be just the icing on the cake if we can hold on to this one. But we have a monumental lead now, so all we need to do is just keep things smooth and controlled to the end. And with only one lap to go, fuel warning has come up, but it's not going to be an issue. We have more than enough to get to the end as we begin the final lap of the race. And we just need to survive. Shouldn't be too difficult. Mistakes so far in this race have been relatively minimal. Had a couple of offs at McPhillamy and that one shortcut at Skyline, but other than that, I'm really happy with the way I've been driving in this race. I think there was that one moment at turn 3 as well into the cutting after I tried to make that move on Jack Tar way back towards the start of the race, right here where I hit the inside wall. But yeah, I think that's a total of about 4, maybe 5 little moments across the entire race when everyone around us has been having crashes and spins and all sorts going on. We've been able to keep it pretty clean, and that's actually how we've managed to get into P1. Don't know if you've noticed, but we didn't actually make any overtakes at all during this race. Every position we made was through someone else crashing, spinning, or going off the road. So I don't know what that says, but consistency is very important, and usually it's not actually my strong suit, but today it has been on my side as we head through Forest Selway for the final time and head out onto Conrod Straight, and we get to listen to this little engine scream as we head down towards the chase through this roller coaster ride that is Conrod Straight. And with just one sector to go now, nothing is going to stand in our way. Just the chase and Murray's Corner to navigate, and we will be home safe, keeping it nice and steady through there as we head out under the Armour All sign and towards Murray's Corner for the final time and into the braking zone. Again, just keeping it nice and smooth here. And there we have it. We're gonna do it. This is going to be race victory here at Bathurst, and my first win in sport mode. Oh my goodness. That was unbelievable. How far behind are they? There we go, 13 seconds. Almost 14 seconds. That is the price of the mistakes that were made, all in the last 5 laps or so, really. And it cost them, well, they started out about 5.5 seconds in front or so at the largest margin, so that's 19 seconds or so they lost through mistakes alone. So yeah, that really does show how the consistency came through for us at the end of that one, and just focusing on not making mistakes and keeping the car under control really made all the difference. Because I know we were not the fastest car today. We did get the fastest lap in the end, so that may say otherwise, but that was right towards the end. For 90% of that race, we were not the fastest car. And it's only through a lot of mistakes that we were able to gain positions, and somehow we managed to cross the line first. I honestly don't know what to say. That was just Insane. Absolutely insane. I've just noticed the message on the left there. Victory is nothing without honour. I like that. I think everyone raced pretty well throughout this one. We saw a few little incidents here and there. Colmers and Colster coming together at Forest Elbow, which sort of ended any hopes that Colster had of a decent result. Didn't really see them too much after that. And then I guess the other notable one was between Shake and Bake and the Ford Mustang, Donny Brasco. They had a bit of a coming together at Griffin's Bend, but overall, especially around us, it was a very clean race. Had a great battle with Ty, of course, throughout much of that race. That was a lot of fun. A few moments of contact, but nothing serious, and no one ended up surfing across a gravel trap backwards, so it couldn't have been too bad. But yeah, they, I think understandably, were probably getting a little bit frustrated behind me at times because they definitely had better pace at that phase of the race. But you know, that at the time that was a fight for the podium, so there's no way I'm going to let that go too easily. And in the end, it ended up being ultimately for the race lead, although they fell away before that opportunity ever came to us. But yeah, other than that, that's I think it's just about going to do it for this one. A really, really fun race. And somehow we went from 7th to 1st without making a single overtake. I'm basically like Ollie Caldwell. No one's going to get that. Okay, I'm basically like Stephen Bradbury. That's a much more well-known person who won an event simply by not failing. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. So I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I will see you in the next one, and goodbye.